Good morning, motor cars. It is Friday, June 30th, the end of the month, and we are heading into the depths of summer and beautiful weather and everything as we see in Ohio this time of year. Got some birthdays for you. On the 30th, we have Courtney Geil and also Kelly Vassaloni. And on, July 1st, a couple of anniversaries. Andrew Shirelli, who is over at Honda, and Brad Burr, who is over at Toyota. So happy birthday and happy anniversary, guys. Since there's a big debate going on right now about healthcare, I thought I'd pull up some healthcare factoids for you. Theodore Roosevelt, who was a Republican president, was the first American president to suggest a universal healthcare system. The number of people who sneak into Canada from the U.S. is actually higher than the number of people who sneak into the U.S. from Canada. And the reason for that is better education and universal health care. Costa Rica has no military. They invest all of the money that would normally be put towards the military in education, health care, and social services. According to the World Health Organization, the U.S. currently ranks 37th in the world in terms of health care access and quality, just ahead of Slovenia and just behind Costa Rica. Despite the fact that the U.S. FDA recognizes acupuncture needles as medical equipment, there is almost no reliable evidence that they provide any health benefit whatsoever. Hospital emergency room staff refer to motorcycles as donor cycles because the patients that come in are usually young and in good health with no traumatic organ injuries other than to their heads, which are usually crushed. Teen pregnancy rates in the U.S. are currently at about 41.5 per 1,000 people and dropping, largely due to easier access to contraception and more effective sex education. By contrast, the Netherlands has a teen birth rate of 5.3 per 1,000, Switzerland 4.3 per 1,000, and Germany 9.8 per 1,000. All three countries have universal health care. 62% of bankruptcies in the United States are due to medical bills. 4 out of 5 of those are people that had health insurance, but either they got so sick that they lost their job and their health insurance with it, or they couldn't afford to pay the deductibles, co-payments, and services that were not covered by their insurance. The last thing I wanted to talk about today is something a little bit fun. I have what I consider the world's perfect bananas Foster recipe. It's one that I worked on when I was in college and came up with, and I love it myself, even though I'm not normally a big person for sweets, and my family just loves it every time I make it. So, recipe for the perfect bananas Foster. 3 slightly mushy bananas, 1 cup Mount Gay rum, 1/2 cup salted cashews, 1 stick of butter, and 2 cups of brown sugar. It doesn't necessarily have to be Mount Gay rum, but for this particular exercise, the smellier the rum is coming out of the bottle, the better. You want the darkest, nastiest rum you can find. In a medium-sized saucepan on medium heat, combine the butter and the rum. With a wooden spoon, gradually stir in the brown sugar slowly until it's all melted and it's not grainy anymore. Keep stirring. If you don't, it's going to burn. When the smell shifts from really strong alcohol fumes to sweet, turn down the heat to about half of what it was at to start with. Keep on stirring and add the cashews. When the cashews have just begun to soften and they lose their sharp edges, remove the pan from heat and add the 3 bananas, chopped into pieces about 1 inch thick. Stir really gently because since they're mushy bananas, you don't want them to break into smaller pieces. And you want it to be stirred just enough to coat the bananas. Set the pan aside to cool for about 20 minutes to thicken, and then pour over vanilla bean or cinnamon ice cream. That's all I've got for you this week, motor cars. Have a good weekend.